Welcome in to another episode of Down South Ball Talk, hosted by LT. I'm your host, LT, and on today's episode, we're going to go over the Spurs versus Knicks in the NBA Finals and who are the key players, who I think are the key players to the Finals series. So yes, we're gonna get into it today. Oh, also we're gonna talk a little bit NFL. We did have some blockbuster trades that happened since last episode when we were going off. We thought AJ Brown would get traded. He did get traded about 15 minutes after that episode was concluded. So we'll talk about that. And also, should Aaron Donald come out of retirement? That is the big question floating around the NFL circles today. So yes, let's get right into it, man. Tonight. Oh, before I do get into it, I want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the channel, who has subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. If you feel free to do so, please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video, and please leave me a comment on this video as well. Also, you see all of the social medias, they are here. You see them down here at Down South Ball Talk on all social medias, except on X. It is Down South BT. All right, let's get into it. We're going to talk about who I believe are the top 5 key players in the final series between the Spurs and the Knicks. All right, coming in at number 5, I've got Karl Anthony Towns. Now, some of you might think he should be higher up, and again, this is just a mix of Spurs and Knicks players as well. I must say that. Okay, coming in at number 5, I have Karl Anthony Towns. He is averaging 16 points per game, almost 17, really rounded up to 17. 10.6 rebounds per game, and also 7 assists. Whew, my boy has been hooping during these playoffs. The 2026 playoffs have been good to Karl Anthony Towns. Also, he's shooting 57% from the field. He's also shooting 48% from 3. Now, can he do enough to slow down Wemby on the defensive end and then also make Wemby work when he is on the offensive end? I think he can. Karl Anthony Towns is a very gifted basketball player, especially on the offensive end, and dare I say, one of the best shooting big men the game has ever seen. Now, with that being said, Wemby is a monster on the defensive end, so you're going to have to make him work, Cat. You're going to have to make him work. Now, on the defensive end, you do have yourself and Mitchell Robinson. However, I believe Cat will do some damage on the offensive end to make Victor come out of the paint and work, and they can, facilitate the offense. And I think this is what they've been kind of gearing up for and letting Cat run a little bit of the offense on the offensive end. If you've seen the Knicks play in the regular season compared to the playoffs, it is kind of a night and day offense. So with that being said, I believe Karl Anthony Towns on the offensive end will give Wemby some headaches. All right. Excuse me. If he stays out of foul trouble, yes, Karl Anthony Towns will be a problem and will be an impactful player for the Knicks. And I do believe he is the fifth key player for this series. And for the Knicks to win, they will need Karl Anthony Towns. All right, let's get into it. Let's go to number 4. I have De'Aaron Fox, the old vet for the Spurs. He is averaging 16.4 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, and almost 6 assists per game with 5.9. You might as well say 6 assists. 43% from the field and 31% from 3. Last game to close out the Thunder in that Game 7, to me, he was the key. 15 points, and the way he slowed everything down, the calmness of the vet, doing what he was doing, the fast pace that he was playing at. Yes, De'Aaron Fox still has some left in the tank. A lot of people was questioning since he was hurt, those ankles and what would they do. He was wearing those braces, and I always thought that he would have to change up his game a little bit and be that savvy vet who knows how to use this up here. So that's exactly what he did in Game 7, and I expect him to do that in the finals for the Spurs. He will be that crafty vet for them when things go crazy and they need a definitive bucket and it's real late in the game or something. You can go to De'Aaron Fox to handle that ball and make a play for sure. All right. He is now, unfortunately, he is now put himself back into the mix because a lot of people thought that they should start Harper. So unfortunately for those people who thought that, De'Aaron Fox is here. He will be starting for sure. All right, let's go into it. Now, the third key player in this series for both teams, this is probably going to be a toss-up, and people's probably going to be like, really? To me, third is OG Anunoby. Let's go over his stats for the playoffs so far. 19.7 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, 57% from the field, and he's shooting 48% from three. Now, we know he got injured and didn't play a few games, but they didn't really need him. The Knicks have swept the last two series they've been in, and it's kind of was rest for OG. So for me, I believe he is like a Swiss Army knife out there on offense and defense. He can do it all out there. And you have Jalen, you have Karl Anthony Towns. To me, OG Anunoby is the key for sure. I mean, some people might think it's Mikal, but I think it's OG Anunoby. He is the X factor. If you want to call him an X factor for the Knicks, he is that. To me, he just brings it all to the table. So you know what you're gonna get. He is inconsistent. I'll say that he is inconsistent. But one thing he has been in this playoffs is been consistent. He has been a consistent player when he has been out there for the 2026 playoffs, and I will give it to OG Anunoby. To me, he is a X factor for them. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. We're flying through these. We're flying through these today for sure. All right, coming in number 2, key player for this final series, Victor Wembanyama. Let's go ahead and go over his stats. 23 points a game, 10 rebounds, 2.5 blocks per game. You know the defensive end is going to be crazy with him. 51% from the field, 37% from three, and honestly, that is way better in the playoffs than I thought he would shoot from three. I will be honest with you. Now, he can control this series with his defense. He can control not just with blocks, but the way he alters shots and make people think twice about coming in the paint or shooting a floater or even just stopping on a dime and shooting a jump shot. He alters shots like no other. It is really evident when you watch the Spurs play. His defensive prowess is a problem out there, and it's only going to get even worse when he gets some muscle on him and the game just slows down a little bit up here in the head for sure. Yes. Now, there's only two people to me that can slow him down a little bit, and that's Mitchell Robinson, of course, and also Karl Anthony Towns. Other than that, the Knicks don't have anybody that can slow Wemby. Now, with Mitchell Robinson's pinky, and he had the surgery and stuff like that, again, he's not an offensive player anyway. You just need him out there for fouls and defense on Wemby. So I believe he will do that for them. They do have a couple other big men that can do something against Wemby, because we all know you have to get physical with Wemby and throw him off his game that way if you want to succeed against the Spurs. But I do think Wemby, again, just like last series, he had to cancel out Chet and Isaiah. This series, he has to cancel out Mitchell and Karl. But at this point, it has to be on the defensive end. I don't think it has to be on the offensive end. So with that being said, Victor Wembanyama, yeah, there's nobody really on the Knicks other than those two that can guard him for sure. And again, they have to be physical with Wemby. If they're physical with Wemby, then I think they can slow him down and get in his head. But again, he's growing daily. This is doing nothing but gaining experience for Wemby, and the antics and everything that people are doing, it won't work anymore. It won't work anymore soon. So get it out right now as you can, Knicks, because that's honestly the only way I see you slowing down Wemby is being physical and getting in his head. All right. The number one key player in this whole finals for the Knicks or the Spurs is Jalen Big Body Brunson, if everybody likes to call him. Let's get into his stats, man. 26 points per game, 6.6 assists per game, 48% from the field, 35% from three. He is the engine and makes everything go. We all know what Brunson brings to the Knicks. You've seen it all season. He has also won Clutch Player of the Year award a year ago. What else can you say about this guy? He is a small guard that is leading his team to the finals. A lot of people think that it wasn't possible. Hell, I even thought it wasn't possible at one point until this season. This season was the season I said to myself, oh no, this guy, he can possibly go. He could possibly go to the finals for sure. If they can do what they've been doing, sweeping everybody, yes, finals. And honestly, I even said it earlier before the season started. I thought it was finals or bust for the Knicks because, again, Eastern Conference Finals, okay, that's cool. But no, I thought they had to reach the finals. And it was possible, especially with Jason Tatum not going to play and stuff like that. And, Tyrese Halliburton out. A lot of things were going in the Knicks' way. So I honestly thought they were going to reach the finals for sure. For sure. Well, they could. Not thought that they would. They could reach the finals. So with that being said, man, Jalen is leading them and he's doing his thing. The Spurs, they got to make him work on the defensive end. Yes, he's going to give you buckets. You know he's going to give you, hopefully, his average and does what he does on the offensive end. But on the defensive end, the guards, they have to make him work. De'Aaron has to make him work. Let's see. He'll probably have to guard Vassell, Champagnie. You have to make him work. They have to do that. So, with that being said, if they do that, tire him down on that defensive end and things of that nature, hey, they have a really good chance of beating the Knicks for sure. I think he has to average at least 30. At least 30 a game for them to win this series against the Spurs. Jalen Brunson has to show up every single night. I think he has to have at least two games where he has 40 or more, at least. At least, if they're going to get it done. Because, again, the Spurs, the defense that these young guys are playing, not just the starters, but those guys coming off the bench, Bryant and all those, Cornette, like, they're not playing. They know their role. They know what they have to do to come in and do their role perfectly, and they're going to get their minutes for sure. So I think Brunson has to score at least two 40-point games. Now, when would that be? I think he does it in the Garden once, and then we'll see on another game. But he has to at least do that for me, for them to win this series. All right, let's have a recap of who I think are the top 5 key players of the Spurs and Knicks series of the NBA Finals. Number 5, I have Karl-Anthony Towns. Number 4, I have De'Aaron Fox. Number 3, I have OG Anunoby. Number 2, I have Victor Wembanyama. And at number 1, I have Jalen Brunson. All right, I just have to remind you guys, please, please, please follow all of my social medias. You see them here at Down South Ball Talk on all social medias, except on X, it is at Down South BT. Let me know in the comments, who do you think are the key players? Do you like my list? Do you agree with it? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. All right, let's turn the page. Let's turn the page a little bit. Let's talk about the NFL just a little bit and what happened after the last video. Yes, we talked about A.J. Brown was expected to be traded either June 1st or the 2nd, and it definitely happened on June 1st, late June 1st. A.J. Brown is now part of the Patriots, back with Mike Vrabel. They both spent time at Tennessee. Mike Vrabel was here when he got drafted at the Tennessee Titans, so that is a match that they've been wanting to do. We all know the history between Vrabel and A.J. Brown. He did not want to trade A.J. Brown when he was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. He has made that abundantly clear to everyone. Also, A.J. Brown has made it clear he has grew up a Patriots fan, and he has dreamed about playing for the Patriots. Not wanted to, but dreamed about playing for the Patriots, and this is kind of a dream come true for him. So what does that mean for the Patriots? Will they go back to the Super Bowl? Does this make them the front runners to win the AFC or even win the AFC East, their division? Yes, I believe that makes them a front runner to win the division, maybe, because, again, you bring in someone like A.J. Brown, who is a consistent 1,000-yard receiver. I don't think he hasn't not have a 1,000-yard receiving season yet in the NFL. I know he's definitely had 6 of them straight. So you bring him in alongside Butte, alongside who else they brought? Romeo Doubs. Yes, they have Romeo Doubs as well. So they have a really good receiving core along with some tight ends, and we know Drake May can spin that ball. So you give him an actual quarterback who's looking to push the ball down the field like Drake May, I think it is a good fit for A.J. Brown in New England. All right, let's talk about the Rams. Again, we talked about Myles Garrett going to the Rams. The Defensive Player of the Year got traded from the Browns to the Los Angeles Rams. But the Browns did get Jared Verse, a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a third-round pick. After looking back, I think it was a good move for the Browns. They're going young. They know that they're in a straight rebuild mode, and I like what they're doing over there. Now, let's talk about the Rams. Everybody is thinking, hey, is Aaron Donald going to come back? Because, I mean, the Super Bowl is in L.A. this year. They have a stacked team. They have Myles Garrett. And imagine you've got Myles Garrett on that end, and you've got Fisk, you've got Aaron Donald on the interior and stuff like that. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my Lord. It's going to be a beast. And I forget the other guy. They got one more guy that's really good on the interior as well. So, I mean, do I think he's going to come back? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, it's enticing. Now, do I think he comes back for training camp and all that? If he was to come back, I do see someone like Aaron Donald coming during training camp because he likes to work out, he likes to train. He's one of those types. I don't see him being the old vet to where he comes in middle of the season and rides the coattail and tries to get a ring and things of that nature. No, I don't think Aaron wants to do that. Plus, I think he would like to play with Miles on a full season and see exactly what they could do together. So, do I think he's coming out of retirement? Maybe. Maybe. It's really, really, really enticing for him. I know it is for him. And it'd be really cool to see him and Myles Garrett to play together because, again, those are two of probably the greatest we've ever seen on that defensive line in the NFL. Alrighty, that concludes today's episode of Down South Ball Talk. What do you think about my list of key players? Let me know in the comments. Let me know, do you think Aaron Donald is or should come out of retirement? What do you think about A.J. Brown to the Patriots? Does that trade take them over the top to go back to the Super Bowl? All right, and again, please follow all of my socials. You see them here at Down South Ball Talk on all socials except on X. It is at Down South BT. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and help us grow. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good evening.